So I've been in automotive for virtually the entire time I've lived in Detroit. I started on the OEM side and then 13 years ago moved to FordDirect, where I got the pleasure of starting to work for automotive retailers. Was on a different side of the business and the risk and legal side, but I've always been doing business on the DL, helping all of our different client groups with our products and services and helping to serve our dealers. Coming from New York, I moved to Detroit and naturally found my way into automotive because what was the most fast-paced, crazy, insane business? Automotive. And that's where I knew I belonged. I think our origin story starts a little bit further back. And I'll just say that FordDirect has actually been helping dealers solve their pain points for 25 years. So the company's been around now for a quarter of a century, and we've been Ford and Lincoln dealers' trusted advisor for a very long time now. And over the years, as we've evolved as an organization, we found different ways to help them solve their pain points. And what's happened, what we've noticed over really about the last decades, the dealers came to us and they said, can you help us with this? Can you help us with that? And, the list was growing and growing and growing and growing. And in a lot of the cases, we said, we can't, right? We can't help you with that because we have at FordDirect our core product portfolio, which is in, digital marketing, technology, advertising, data, and a lot of different systems that help our dealers. So that leaves room for a lot of other things where we couldn't help dealers. And we said a few years ago, about 3 years ago, we said, maybe there is a way to help them with all these other pain points outside of the core portfolio. And that is how the shop was born. The dealers talked to us about different ideas. We've always been their trusted advisor. And we started a marketplace, and it was kind of an analog version of it. And the idea evolved into an online marketplace called The Shop. We did talk to everybody. We were in total listening mode because we thought we had something here, but you need to check with the marketplace and see. We are very customer focused. One of our principles is dealers first. So we went out and talked to as many dealers as we possibly could. And we have a lot of close dealer advisors that we meet with on a regular basis. And we went out and we solicited from them and said, hey, here's the idea. Do you think you'd use it? And some of our dealer principals who are, in the older generation said, nah, I'll never use it, but talk to my son or talk to my daughter. And we started doing that. We started talking to the next generation in the dealerships to say, hey, you guys use online shopping for everything. What do you think about doing this in the online retail space? And they all said, absolutely. If you had something where there was valuable content inside of this site and I could sit on the couch with my kids, scroll through and look and see what you're offering, that would be amazing. We did solicit feedback from dealers before we even started this venture, and we could not find a single one who said, this is a terrible idea. They all said, I see value in that. And that's something that, we took as our guide, that let's keep going. Let's see how we can put this together. Because right now, the process for dealers to buy services, products, solutions is all analog. So there's a few exceptions to that, but it's an analog process. And we said, let's take this and make it digital. After we launched, we were still going out and conducting our research and talking to dealers and seeing what they thought of the shop, if they knew about it. And we went and we pitched to a service manager in a dealership, and we were in a very small office, and we explained the shop to her, and we pulled it up on the screen. And after listening to us, she turned around and looked at us and said, why has nobody done this before? Seems like it makes so much sense. And Courtney and I walked out and said, yeah, I think we have something here. The other time is when I went to visit a dealer who said, they have a big group and they do all their own vetting and research. He said, it's an interesting concept, but I don't think we'd really use it. At the end of it, he had signed up and enrolled and clicked the button to get more information about one of our providers in the shop. So I thought that was a moment where somebody who was initially very skeptical turned around by the end of the conversation and saw some value in it. I would tell a dealer who's skeptical that they should absolutely be skeptical. And I would always want them to say, "Why should I trust you?" Because I will tell you, I am the most skeptical person you will ever meet. And I believe in that old Ronald Reagan phrase, trust but verify. So I'm not going to dispel them of their skepticism. They're dealers, after all. And I think that's one of the good things about them. So I believe trust takes time to build, and the proof will really be in the pudding. So it's up to us to demonstrate why we are trustworthy and why they should rely on the shop. So I've done a lot of actual research into trust and determined there are 3 components to trust: competence, integrity, and benevolence. And if those 3 things are present, there will eventually be trust. So competence means doing what you say and saying what you're doing. So being honest and fulfilling your promises, making sure that you're backing up everything you're doing with real facts and data. Integrity means doing the right thing all the time. And benevolence is doing it for the right reasons. So at FordDirect and with the shop, we started with 3 very basic principles that mirror these 3 components of trust. One is we always put our dealers first. Everything we do is through the lens of the dealer. If it's good for the dealer, we're going to continue down the path. If it's not good for the dealer, we're not going to. The second principle is actually integrity. So for us, that means there's no black box. We're going to do everything out in the open. We're not going to do anything behind the scenes. We feel like we should be transparent in everything that we do. And the third thing is excellence. Dealers have very high standards, and we want to meet those standards in everything that they experience with the shop. So that is, sort of the underlying principles for the shop. The other thing I want to just explore for a minute of why dealers should trust the shop, which is FordDirect's history. And FordDirect is a lot of people don't know this, it's a dealer owned and controlled company. So we're a joint venture between Ford Motor Company and dealers. So dealers are our owners, dealers were our founders, and dealers are still very much involved in the day-to-day management of the organization through our board of representatives and through our dealer advisory board. So for 25 years, FordDirect has been a trusted advisor for dealers. So we are very much of the dealers. That's a very important question, and that's where the magic happens inside of FordDirect. One of our core competencies is trusted sourcing. We've been doing this for a very long time. We know the industry, we know how it works, and we have a very robust end-to-end vetting process that results in us curating this group of preferred vendors. It's one of the things that we have developed over time. Think of it like due diligence. If you're buying a company, we look into all aspects of the business and make sure that there's real data to back up the value that these companies will provide. We don't have any interest in creating the NADA floor inside of the shop. We want to, through this special curation process, find the truly valuable vendors in the space that can have the most impact on our dealers and help them do all the things that they need to do in the most efficient, most cost-effective, and the best way for them and their dealership. So I did recently meet with a dealer who said within the first 2 minutes of our conversation, he knew about the shop and he said, "Why should I trust you? Why should I use the shop when I think I could get a better deal on my own?" And I said, "Okay, let's explore that." I said, "Tell me why you feel that way." And he explained it to me, and he said, he negotiates the deals directly and he feels like he has the inside track. So I said, "Okay, let's try it and let's see what happens." By the end of the conversation, when we explained the full process and how he resulted in the pricing, he said he was open to exploring, one of these opportunities that we had talked about because he did not have a good experience with the vendor he was using. I asked him what his time was worth, because that's another very big benefit of the shop. Maybe it's not worth a dealer's time to negotiate every single product and service and good and solution that they use for their dealership. Maybe let the shop do some of that and then focus on the really impactful things that they want to do separately. So he didn't sign up then and there, but he was open after we had the conversation. As easy as it is now, it's going to be even easier and better. So we are in growth mode right now at the shop. It's still early days, and we're working on some upgrades and improvements that you'll see over time that's going to make it akin to the best online shopping experiences and the best online research experiences. So we have big plans that are coming, and dealers will get the benefits of that as we roll them out, over time. One of the shop's core purposes is to centralize the research on different products and solutions, and really business areas in the shop. We're going to have research including, best practices, videos, white papers, as well as all the vendor content for all the vendors that are currently in the shop, in one place that's sortable, filterable. Eventually it will be based on different areas of the dealership, different geographies, different sizes of the dealership. We recognize dealers come in many different shapes, sizes, types, and we want to meet the dealers where they are. So this will be a centralized hub of truly agnostic information, trusted information from experts in the industry from all across the industry, where dealers can go to. It's not going to eliminate research totally, because we still need to do research, but wouldn't it be amazing if we had this place to go to where it was logically organized so it would expedite and create time savings for our dealers? So dealers can enroll in as many services as they want. So they can go and they can sign up for anything that's in the shop. We are going to be adding features like bundling, where products and services that naturally go together can be sold together. Just like you see now today on Amazon, you'll see people have bought this with this together. So that's the vision, for the future as we add more vendors to the shop. So yeah, it operates like any marketplace. You can sign up and enroll for any number of things that meet your needs. So we're looking at this through the lens of, again, there's no one size fits all. So we want options that are tailored to small dealerships. Right now, there's a big focus on the EU300 dealers in the Ford and Lincoln world. We also want services that help medium and large dealerships and dealership groups, geographic regions. So we're going to have this mindset that we want to have something for every different kind of dealer. This is the trusted sourcing that the shop brings to dealers. We know industry pricing. We know the retail auto vendors and the tech vendors that are in this space. And part of our promise to dealers is that we're going to give them either the best price or favorable pricing or special value add, and that they can rely on it. We want to give them peace of mind through our trusted sourcing. Again, this is through our trusted sourcing. We have our finger on the pulse of the auto retail marketplace, and we're constantly on the lookout for the best new and innovative solutions out there. The market has exploded in the last few years, probably the last decade, but really the last few years. And now it's exploding again with everything AI related. So this is where the shop has its work cut out for us, but we have a special focus on new and innovative and emerging technology, which is not something that everybody wants to dabble in because there's risk associated with it. But as we talked about earlier, we have a lot of dealers who are very risk tolerant, and they want to try the newest and latest and greatest technology. And we want the shop to have a special place for our innovative providers, and that is one of the best ways that we're really going to help them on the innovation side. Obviously, another trend that everyone on the planet is aware of right now is AI. And there's a lot of feelings and thoughts about it, but I've been in the technology world for a long time. And also as a skeptic, I think there's a lot of companies out there saying AI is going to help them. And the proof will be, again, in the pudding, in who's going to win. How are these companies going to use AI to truly make a difference to the dealers' processes, to how they operate as a business, and how they win using AI tools? And I think that it's a little bit still wild, wild west. And over time, we're going to make sure that we're looking into the best companies out there that have AI as part of their service offering. And that's something we're following very closely because there's a lot of noise out there. We have big growth plans, but in the near term, we are doubling at least the number of vendors in the shop. We're on track to add 2 to 3 a month, and that pace is escalating as we grow. We're so excited to add these new solutions. We have a strong pipeline of high-value products and services. We can't wait to get them into the hands of the dealers who are ready to take their operations to the next level. Go to www.theshop.com. That is the quickest way, and start using it.